Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. We're taking the EZA Strength Ultimate Gohan into the Fighting Legend of Vegeta event to see what he can really do. But as we're getting into it, don't forget as well, drop a like on the video and subscribe if you are new. Perfect, I see that. Immediately, he's actually on rotation with both Tech Ultimate Gohans, which is really nice. But yeah, if you could do all those typical things of dropping a like, subscribing, that would be fantastic. And do let me know down in the comments as well how you are finding this new EZA Ultimate Gohan. I'm enjoying him. He's good. He is very good. Of course, yesterday we did take him into ESBR, which he done really well in. I'm not gonna lie, he actually done very well in. You know, his guard coming off a high chance, or the high chance for his guard to be coming off, seems to be coming off quite a lot of the time. Either that, and potentially it didn't, and then maybe defensively, actually no. There's no way greatly raising his defense for one turn and then having just 158%, you know, attack and defense at the start of the turn was enough to tank that well, but his guards seem to be coming off a lot of the time. It seemed to definitely be coming off a lot of the time, but he done really well there. As I said in that video, he's probably going to do, not even probably, he's definitely going to do a hell of a lot better, and I mean, a hell of a lot better in this event than the likes of Super Battle Road, you know, especially being able to actually get going, being able to actually stack, whereas, you know, when it comes to Super Battle Road, you're very limited, you know, you're very constricted to about 5-6 turns within each phase. So I'm looking forward to this quite a lot, because so far he has thoroughly impressed me. I mean, even when we got his attack stat in the showcase, I mean, sorry about that, your boy's back. Power of editing, of course, the wonderful power of editing. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I cannot remember at all where I was, but you know, we're just gonna keep going. I literally cannot remember whatsoever what I was talking about, but you know, he performed really well in ESBR. You know, we can't really see how he was going, like we couldn't really see him get going, but you know, he put out some decent numbers even though he couldn't really stack. You know, he defended really well, his guard came off a lot of the time. You know, that high chance, well, high chance is obviously good, but you know, that is still a 50% chance. You know, it's literally a coin flip whether the guard is going to come off or not, which, you know, I'm not going to lie, even though it did seem to come off a lot of the time and defensively he was very good and overall he's still a good EZA even with the high chance to guard. Obviously, I'm still not a big fan. I'm not really a fan at all of chances to guard. I mean, having guard on a unit that didn't guard beforehand, you know, the way I see it is, I mean, this is in general, and this is where sometimes not having, you know, that shocking speed link active once this guy transforms is can cost you a super attack here and there, but you know, it's okay. It's okay. You know, any unit that has once they Dokkan Awaken or EZA and they get given a chance to guard, like, don't get me wrong, and I'm pretty sure, in fact, did he have a chance to guard before? No, he had a medium chance to guard, but even in general, you know, even with, say, for example, with this Strength Ultimate Gohan, for example, even though that chance got increased, or say if it was a unit that got given a chance to guard, you know, if he got given a chance to guard instead, or in fact, even with the, you know, the increased chance to guard on this Gohan, you know, he actually got an additional as well, which means most likely he's guarding right now. The only thing is, I'm never gonna actually know if he's guarding until he gets hit, because of course he's rainbowed. So if he you know, if he gets an additional, it could just be the dupe system coming off, and I won't know until he gets hit. Which by that point may be too late. Which is why I've been screaming for it at this point. Just please, just add something that tells us, please. But you know, as I said, with a unit that gets given guard, or in this Gohan's case, a unit that has an increased chance to guard from medium to high, you know, having guard in general, it's a nice bonus, especially on a unit that didn't have it prior. It's a nice kind of like added bonus. Oh, you can guard now. Like, and I do see it that way, don't get me wrong. As much as I hate chances to guard, I do see it that way, but you know, it's good that now he has a 50% chance to guard rather than 30, you know, you know, you're not going to turn your nose up at an increased chance to guard. You know, the fact he can guard in general is, it can, if it comes off, be very useful and very good defensively, obviously, but you know, just a chance. And I think a lot of you will agree with me, with it being a chance, can run such a risk Like, such a risk. The fact he greatly raises defense for 50% for 1 turn on super, I mean, it doesn't make up for it if it doesn't come off, but it definitely is handy to kind of have, you know, kind of somewhat almost a backup if you don't have guard, like to have some extra defense. But, you know, obviously if it is coming off, you know, you're gonna have him in slot 2, maybe slot 3 the majority of the time. You super attack, you greatly raise your defense for the turn, and you have guard active. He's defending amazingly, you know, that's not a doubt. But yeah, that high chance to guard, while it's nice, the chance has been increased from medium to high. See, now we're not going to struggle with super attack, and that shocking speed, that extra key +2, very, very, very handy. You know, while a high chance to guard is pretty good, that's a coin flip. A coin flip, you'll get it. A coin flip, you won't. Which, yeah, I don't like it. You know, as I said, I've said this so many times before as well. If the game just told you whether a unit was guarding or not, then I wouldn't mind it so much. But because I have to, you know, wait and clench my butt cheeks together and, you know, cross my fingers and toes and, you know, whatever else I can possibly cross to hope the guard comes off, you know, that's why I'm not a fan. That's why I'm not a fan. Even with the built-in additional kind of telling me, hey, Gohan's guarding right now, because of course he only gets the additional come off built in his passive, you know, when his guard is activated, and he gets it for 4 turns. But then I'm like, my Gohan's rainbowed. So if he gets 1 additional, I'm still sitting there clenching my butt cheeks going, okay, is this the hidden potential system, or is this his actual additional from his passive? You know, because if it was a guaranteed built-in additional, you know, even then you still don't fully know. But, you know, if you're constantly additional supering, a lot of the time you can buy, a lot of the time it probably will be from his passive. Because it's just a normal additional, and it's not guaranteed, but there's a high chance of it becoming a super attack, you're still sitting there going, you know, is this guard actually active, or is just the dupe system? You know, obviously if you get 2 additionals, then obviously it's going to be the dupe system, which, you know, that's going to help him in the long run anyway, because not only, especially if they're both super attack, because if he gets the additional from his, you know, his passive, you know, obviously you're not going to know if it's from his passive until you do the second one. So if he gets an additional super the first time, not only is that great because he's just stacked his attack again, and he's doing even more damage, which is just kind of good in itself, but then if he additionals again, regardless if it's a super attack or not, then you're like, okay, he's definitely guarding because you've additional twice. Then of course, if you get the additional super the second time as well, he's super attacked 3 times in 1 turn, which means he's raised his attack by 150%. In fact, where are we up to right now? We're already up to 835k attack stat, which is really, really nice. So, you know, I mean, again, this might have made him a little bit too busted. This isn't even to actually make him better. I mean, maybe if he had a guaranteed built-in additional super attack, not just a guaranteed built-in additional when he guarded, maybe if the additional was guaranteed to be a super, then maybe I would again feel a little bit more comfortable with the chances to guard, because then I could maybe think, actually no, that wouldn't even make a difference, because I would still think potentially, again, if you only additional supered once, I would think, this could still be, you know, the dupe system. I don't know, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. It's just, you know, I'm not comfortable with chances to guard, but, you know, if it comes off, he's sitting pretty. He's defending really, really well. Not only that, the Tech Ultimate Gohan in slot 1 is, again, still one of the best TURs and best defensive units in the entire game. You know, so in general, like, you're going to be tanking really well for that rotation, which is why if he had guaranteed guard, this rotation would probably be the most busted rotation in the entire game, or one of, which is why I kind of get they didn't make it guaranteed. Or maybe they just kind of overestimate the ability of high chances to guard, or just chances to guard in general. But I think if it was guaranteed guard, I do still think that would probably be a bit too strong. I don't know, let me know what you think down in the comments, but, you know, if it does actually come off, then, you know, that rotation, well, especially at least turn 1 and turn 2 in harder events, Tech Ultimate Gohan with this EZA Strength Ultimate Gohan, defensively, that is a very, very, like, that is just a ridiculously, like, just brick wall of defense for a turn, which is insane. But, you know, so far, I mean, as I said, I don't actually know if his guard is actually coming off. As I said, the additional would only guarantee me, or guaranteed to tell me that he is definitely guarding, but On basics, he's taking double digits, but I don't think that has anything to do with the guard. You know, 158% attack and defense at the start of the turn, and then greatly raising defense for a turn. I do think on basics, he will definitely be taking double digits, which, I mean, in any and harder event is great. But I don't think even without the guard, I don't think even with the, no, okay. I was definitely saying that right the first time. Even without the guard, he would still probably take double digits on basics. So I don't actually know if it's been active at all. The whole time we've been going through this event currently, I don't actually know if the guard has been active once or not. The only way we're going to find out in a hard event, which is, again, why I'm not a fan of chances to guard, is when he gets supered. Obviously, if he takes next to nothing on a super, then you know he's guarding. But if he takes a lot, then obviously you know the guard isn't active, and by then it could potentially be too late, which is why, again, I'm not a fan of chances, which is why I don't like relying on a 70% chance to evade from UI Goku. Even though 70% chance is really good, that's why I don't rely on him, you know, dodging, you know, 10 attacks when I'm doing ESPR runs or something. Why I'll always use an item just to be safe. But yeah, I mean, this is why I've been shouting for just for Dokkan to implement a feature at the start of turn when all the passives are coming off, or even still after that, you know, maybe next to like a little symbol by their, their details, you know, when you click up this screen, somewhere here that just a symbol that just says, you know, hey, your unit's guarded. You know, just something like that would actually be just... Dokkan, you've made some amazing changes from version Z, but if you could just add that, I would be a very, very happy boy. I'm not gonna lie. I'd be very happy if you could add something like that. But, you know, apart from, my lack of trust, if you will, for chances to guard, he's a very good EZA. And so far, I mean, he's performing exceptionally well in this Vegeta event run. We're really going to see what he's made of, you know, in the next phase, which we've actually almost done this blue phase. And I think this is probably one of the quickest runs I've actually had in the Super Saiyan blue phase. I'm not even, I might be remembering completely wrong, but I don't feel like I've ever gone through the Super Saiyan blue phase this quickly. But then I'm probably just misremembering because, you know, we've done a ridiculous amount of Vegeta event and GT Goku event runs in the last... when did I start the channel? I started the channel a couple months before the 6th year anniversary, so it's about 9-10 months. About 9-10 months. We've done a hell of a lot of runs. He's up to a 1.1 million attack stat. I'm actually going to put him in turn 1. Even if he does get supered and doesn't have guard active, he's still going to survive because obviously he has type advantage right now. No, actually, no, his guard is active. No, you know, I'm so, like, literally being very mindful to see if his guard is active that obviously when guard is active against type neutral or type advantage units, it will then basically put the arrow down. But we automatically have type advantage, which means the arrow will be down regardless. This is how mistrusting I am when it comes to, you know, when it comes to units who have chances to guard. This is how much I don't fully trust it and don't fully like it. You know, as I said, it's great with a unit that never got a chance to guard beforehand, now has it. Like, it's an added bonus, but, you know, I don't trust the chance to guard. Even if you do have a 50% chance, even if it was a 70% chance to guard, I still wouldn't trust it all that much because there's still a chance for them not to guard. Like, I'm just being so mindful if he's actually guarding that I just sold myself an absolute dream then. But he's still doing really well. Regardless about how much I slammed the chances to guard, he is still doing exceptionally well right now. And of course, I've said this again in both videos now, the showcase and him in SBR or ESBR. Regardless of what you're taking him in, regardless if you're doing an SBR run, even if you're doing specific missions, you know, for any of these categories he goes on, Hybrid Saiyans, Majin Buu Saga, Goku's Family, Siblings Bond, Revenge, Rapid Growth, Savior's Powerful Comeback, Trusted Will. I mean, especially Trusted Will, because he does actually support a Trusted Will with a key +2 and attack +30%. 30%, but even in general, I mean, that middle slot, I mean, we do have an ATA active, but that middle slot is really going to let us know if he's guarding or not. And this is what I mean. This is where the Vegeta event is probably going to be slightly harder for him, having type disadvantage against SSBE, who also lowers defense. So if he isn't guarding, those basic attacks afterwards are probably going to do a lot, and I mean a lot of damage, but I really want to see how much damage he takes. Even if he isn't guarding, I do really want to see how much damage he takes, but then he's taking a lot, and I mean a lot of attacks. But even if he's guarding as well, if I use a Whis, I'm not actually going to know if he's guarding or not unless he gets supered. Oh, we're going to risk it. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to risk it, because if I use the Whis and he's not guarding, I'll be able to tell. But then if he guards and I have the Whis active, not only is it going to be a waste, which I'm not overly concerned with, but then I'm not actually going to see how much he tanks, even with the guard active. Because defensively for this turn, he'll just be, you know, untouchable. Big 5.3 million attack stat though. Of course, this is where he's going to be shining the most, because you actually get to build up his attack stat quite a bit, and that's exactly what he's been doing. No additional. I mean, we do have some extra defense, but that's not going to do a whole lot for him. But he's still taking double digits. So that means even without the EZA active, you know, because of course, again, we do have extra defense, and then of course he's raised his defense by 50% on super. Even with the EZA active, he's still tanking incredibly well on basics, even with type disadvantage, which is good. Which is very, very good. The only thing that we might not see in this run is how we would do on a super. Obviously, if the guard is active, he still might take a couple of K on the super, or like, you know, 10, 20K, you know, around about that region, which is still very good for having type disadvantage, and against SSB who lowers defense, that's still very good. You know, he's not going to cost you the run, which is, you know, kind of what you want from units when you're doing, you know, doing like GT Goku event runs, Goku event runs, and Vegeta event runs. You don't want them to get you killed while providing you with something. I think if he didn't have guard active and he got supered, I still don't think he would get you killed. I do, however, think he would take quite a bit of damage. Judging by from what I saw there, which I know we did have an item active, but it's only extra defense. Judging by what I saw there, I do think even if he didn't guard, if he got supered, he would take quite a bit of damage, but I don't think he'll get you killed. However, I'm not sure how much damage he would take on the basics without guard active after having his defense lowered. I'm not sure. I don't think he will get you killed, but then, you know, that's what happens when you have an opinion rather than fact. I'm going to go in EZA again. Rather than full-blown damage reduction, I'm going to give him a little bit extra defense. He does have 268k defense right now, which means once he does actually super attack and get that 50%, his defense is looking quite pretty. But even if he gets super attacked, that's still going to do a bit. So that's why I've gone with the EZA rather than the Whis. But I do feel like Gohan, I don't think he'll be a liability on this phase, is basically what I'm saying. You know, and you're always going to have a unit, you know, or you're always going to have situations in runs and circumstances in runs where you need to use an item. So, you know, using an item here and there in this phase for him isn't the worst, considering we haven't used an item at all. And he's got 2 additionals, which means his guard is actually active. So even if he was to get supered right now, he would be fine. You know, he's not doing the most damage. I mean, he's taking literally 9. He took 9 damage. So yeah, I mean, we definitely knew he was guarding then, of course, because, you know, he got 2 additionals. But then again, this is why I really want the game to add or implement a feature that tells you that a unit's guarding, because then, at least if I knew he was guarding, I wouldn't have used the EZA. That's another thing adding that type of feature would do. It would really help you on runs conserve items. You know, but like, you know, I know it kind of gets rid of that whole kind of challenge, kind of suspense, if you will. But, you know, that's only for units that have a chance to guard, because at least if you know that unit is guarding, you don't pop an item, you know, you could keep going on your run. You know, that item may save you, you know, later on. Using it now may cost you the run. So yeah, that's another reason why I really hope in the future they do add something that tells you whether a unit's guarding. I mean, there we go, we've done it. He's a very good EZA, and even though he's primarily better built and suited for doing longer events, you know, for stacking attack, he's still done really, really well in the likes of the SBR and done great here, even with type disadvantage at the very end. It still would have been interesting to see how much he took on a super, but again, you know, even with type disadvantage, you know, you still probably want to going to be using items in like a specific scenario like that, but I don't think he'll get you killed. Definitely a great option to take, would put out good damage. It's a good EZA, and as I said already time and time again, he links very well with the Tech Ultimate Gohan, especially once he transforms. So that is just a major plus for both of these units. You know, and they go on at all the same categories, which means he's going to be viable wherever you take him. Don't know about Red Zone because it's not here on Global. I mean, he'll probably get you killed there, especially when his guard isn't active. But, you know, currently on Global, very good viable unit. And goes so well with the Tech Ultimate Gohan, which is just a major plus for his value. But again, let me know if you can give him down in the comments. I'll see you next video, guys. And peace.